Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about my experience of living in the UK, and this is particularly for you if you're traveling in 2025 or 2026. So let's get into it. Okay, so first thing I'm going to talk about is banks, payments, and cash and everything about it. So what I did was I bought a lot of cash to the UK, and I think that was one of my mistakes because you don't really need cash over there. People literally do all the transactions on debit cards and credit cards. Just like how we have UPI over here, जैसे हम UPI transactions करते हैं वहाँ पे there is contactless transactions and it is all done by your debit card, credit card, or also your phone. Like if you have Apple Pay or something like that, you can just tap on and move on. So mostly these payments work everywhere, like the convenience stores, grocery stores, and train station, buses, everything. You just need to tap and you can use the service. So cash, I think, I had my debit card and credit card with me, but I still carried a lot of cash. So my first priority was to open a bank account and deposit all that and start using it, right? So first thing that you need to do before you open your bank account is collect your BRP, and BRP is something that you'll find on your visa letter. It is a card. I think right now they are not giving out BRPs. It's e-visa, I believe now. So you need to check your regulations. But what I did was I collected my BRP, and then I sort of opened a bank account online. So online I had like two options, like Revolut and Monzo. These are two neo banks, like online banks. Okay, so what I did was open Revolut. So a Revolut was more convenient for me. You can check out the differences between the two and choose for yourself. So I opened Revolut and I deposited my cash. It is very easy to deposit cash in Revolut. I also opened another account of HSBC, a student account, which is pretty good because they have, they actually came to our campus and they made us open the student accounts. So yeah, I think it was very convenient. And once my cards were all there, I was all set to make payments. Okay, so since we have an idea about cash and payments, let's move on to the transport part. Most of you are going to be traveling to your colleges, to your universities using public transport, right? So public transport is very convenient. I mean, there is one holy grail, Google Maps, which you might already use. People say there are also multiple apps for that, but I think Google Maps is enough. It will literally help you navigate through the city of London. It's so convenient. It also, suppose you're traveling from a bus, right? It'll give you the bus stop name and how much time the bus is gonna take to arrive and everything. Similarly for the trains as well, it's the same. If you're using the Jubilee, DLR, Elizabeth line, anything, it's gonna be so convenient to have that one app in your phone. So yeah, all of these all of these transport systems have a particular tap on system, as I spoke about it in the cash and payment section. You just enter there and you tap onto it. If you're traveling by a train, you need to tap in and then tap out, and if you're traveling by a bus, you just need to tap it once. Also, you will have to, if it's your choice, you can make an Oyster card. Sometimes you get a student discount on that. Once you get your Oyster card as well, you'll feel a bit relieved. But yeah, in the beginning it's a bit of shock because you see London Transport and you see deductions at the end of your bank account statement. You'll see a lot of your money is going into transport. So yeah, that's all about transport. Okay, so let's talk about weather now. So I'm basically from Mumbai, and यहाँ पे there is not much change in temperature, whether it's winter, summer, rainy, it all feels the same, right? But in England, in UK, so it's new thing every day. It's a new thing every day. It's so unpredictable. So one day it will be rainy, one day it will be super gloomy, one day it will be sunny, and then it's the random, I don't know, it's very random, it's very unpredictable. So I used to wake up every day and open my curtain and see like aaj kya weather hoga, what is it gonna be, and it never worked in my favor. Like I used to feel like is the weather punishing me, because when I used to go out on the weekends to roam around London, perfect time to capture the beauty of London, it will be super gloomy, super dark, super grey. And when I had to go to my university on the weekdays, it'll be super sunny, super beautiful. So I don't know, it's very unpredictable, and it really gets cold in the winters. Right now as well, it is quite cold, and the first thing that gets cold is your feet and your fingers, so protect that. Just be ready for the change in weather. Okay, so now let's talk about the people, and I think this could be a little controversial. I mean, it's just opinions over opinions. I mean, you might have a different experience when you go there. So people are quite warm. Like, people are very nice, very polite. They have that British culture going on. You know, hey mate, how are you? Like, they will greet you and everything. And I think that work for people you know, like in your university friends and everything. But wait a minute. I think some of them, like some of the people who don't know you on the street or when you're traveling in the train, they might give you some looks like, okay, I think that was a little bit strange to me. But other than that, people are very sweet. Okay, so it's time for the questions that you guys have asked me on my various videos. So let's start with the question number one. Question number one says, how to deal with people, you know, and the culture, and how to make friends with everyone. Well, that is a very subjective question, I think, because there is no straight mantra or, you know, straight advice to just, you know, okay, be this and you'll have a lot of people around you. You just need to navigate your way through it. Like, you need to build relationships, you need to be active, you need to participate in things which your university, you know, offers you, and just be a friendly person. I mean, there is going to be a lot of transformation happening because you're uprooting yourself from your place of comfort. Like, you've been all here, your friends are here, your family is over here, and you're going to and moving to another country. It's going to take a lot of, you know, time and patience for you to build new relationships, right? Just be yourself, just, you know, accept the change and move through it, like flow through it, like be like water. I think nothing I could say would, you know, exactly bring that change in your life. This is something that you need to adapt, like, you know, be a person who's flexible, adaptable, and that is the thing that's going to help you in the future as well, right? I mean, just be a natural, be a person, be a person that brings everyone together, brings them joys and everything. And then that is something that naturally will attract people to you. Relationships and everything can't be forced, right? I mean, they will eventually happen to you, so be assured, don't worry about that. So yeah. So another question is, which airline did you travel by? I think in my moving to London video, I've spoken about the flight experience of Virgin Atlantic. It was a very good experience. Like, I recently traveled through Air India, and I would say it was not as pleasant as, you know, it ought to be. If you want to have a great experience, then, you know, go for airlines like British Airways or Virgin Atlantic or something like that, Emirates, if you have the budget as well. But yeah, my airline was Virgin Atlantic. The next question is, can we carry knife and scissors in the checked baggage utensils? Okay, so yeah, you can carry them. Again, it has to be in the checked baggage. You can't carry them with you in your cabin baggage. Very, very important. They will ask you to remove it or throw it away. Another question is, we are not supposed to take liquid items. So how come I took ghee and oil? So very simple, you can take liquid items. However, again, not in your cabin baggage. It has to be in your checked baggage. And once it's inside, like in your checked baggage, it's not a bother. About other types of liquid like alcohol, I think there's an international limit of 2 liters, so keep that in mind. So yeah, you can take ghee and oil, scissors and everything, until and unless you're not carrying it with you in person. Yeah, so one thing I want to talk about is very, very recently that happened when I was coming to India. What I made a mistake was, I took my skincare. You know, no one would think, like, you know, skincare, you can just carry it in your cabin baggage, which I did. So there was a limit of 100 ml of liquid that was allowed. So I took my skincare, and I was in a shock of my life that I could not take that particular, because skincare item, it was 150 ml, so they had to throw it in the garbage right in front of me. It was quite heartbreaking, but nevertheless, you cannot carry more than 100 ml of liquid with you in your cabin baggage. Also, this is quite surprising, you cannot also carry creams as well. Creams, peanut butters, jam, anything that is spreadable, you cannot carry it in your cabin baggage more than 100 ml. So they will give you a plastic pouch which you need to put all your items which are under 100 ml, and if something doesn't fit in that small plastic bag, they will ask you to throw it out. So be careful whatever you're carrying in your cabin baggage. Mostly it's smart to carry clothes and everything. Do not carry any precious liquids or everything or something you have. So yeah, that's something about cabin baggage, check baggage, and all the rules and regulations that you need to keep in mind when you're traveling. Okay, so next question is about skincare. So it says, can you suggest something for the lips, for the face? So yeah, skincare is very subjective. So you might have a oily, dry combination skin, so you need to figure out what your skin type is, and this is for anyone regardless of gender, because in the UK, as I mentioned in my what to pack video, it really gets cold, right? And your skin is bound to get dry, you know, your lips are bound to get chapped and everything. So for skincare, you can just try out, if your budget is not as high, you can just try out basic items that you found on your convenience store, your drug stores and everything. Like find a face moisturizer. If you are a dry skin, find something very creamy and everything. If you have an oily skin, find something that is gel based, right? So it won't create a lot of issues for you. And for lips, guys, basics is you can start like from Vaseline to, you know, fancy expensive lip balms and lip masks and everything. So for lips, it's very easy to find. You can just, petroleum jelly works the best. So yeah, there are a lot of options in skincare. Like you can find something online or something that you've always been using. You can just carry it with you if it works for your skin and everything. If you want a separate video on what to, you know, pack for London as a skincare or something like that, let me know in the comment section. Okay, so another question, did you get scholarship? Can you talk about scholarship? Right. So I did get a scholarship and I got it from my college itself. So for that, firstly we had an early bid offer, like early bid discount or something like that. So I availed that, and on top of it I asked for some extra scholarship. For that I had to show my merit and everything, like my education and how you know, how I got some merits and everything. And I had to also make a letter, like SOP letter, statement of purpose, that I need to like talk about everything, my professional life, my educational qualifications and everything, all about my merit and everything. And that's how I got some additional scholarships. So if your college is also offering something like that, you can avail for that. You need to ask with your agent. If you're going through an agent, you can ask them if there is some additional scholarship that you're going to get. And you can also do some researches on colleges which are offering these scholarships. And if you have exceptionally good marks, grades and everything, you can find scholarship in any college. Like you can request them like that. So yeah, that's all about scholarship. Another question is, can you speak about the entire process of securing an admission in abroad? Yeah, I think I have made a video on this of my university and visa tips, which you can find in my channel. And it's just very, I mean, I've majorly spoken about your research skills. So you need to research about what you want, what program you want, what college you want, what university you want, and what you want to become in the future, and which is the best, you know, option for you. You need to figure it out. I mean, it's quite easy. I mean, all of these processes, like helping you with visa, it's all in the video. Securing a university and everything, finding your dream university is something that you need to find and, you know, apply for and everything. It's quite easy once you get your head into it. Once you know you want to you know, pursue this, want to do this, once you know you want to take this path. So yeah, I mean, if you have any additional questions about that, about some details and everything, you can tell me in my comment section. I'll be happy to answer them. All right guys, that's about it. So I really enjoyed speaking about my experience in the UK, and if you have any suggestions, thoughts or questions for me, let me know in the comment section and I'll be happy to speak about it. Thank you.